my things together, I guess. So, there we go. Alright, got the TV muted. Whew! So I'm jet lagged a little bit. A lot. Today has been a weird one. Yesterday, I don't even remember. I slept on and off yesterday and then slept most of the day today. I've never been this jet lagged before, so here we go. I'm afraid to touch the chat because every time I have the past couple streams, I've got this weird overlapping thing happening, but I really want to touch the chat, so. Oh, man, I didn't put a thumbnail. Wow. And I don't think I can fix that now. Oh, well. I'll fix it later. Alright, let me pull up the chat. Storm Tracker, hello. Hello, everybody. Running late. We're going to have a 1984, I think they were, MRE from Gabe. Because there's multiple doubles in here, and I figured I had such weird good luck with the last one. Why not? I can't remember if the last one was the same manufacturer as this box, but I kind of hope it was. Hello, Irish? Sakura. I'm going to mispronounce that. Sakura. Maybe I'm saying it right. Maybe. Hello. Reminds me of the Seinfeld episode. The talking belly button. I don't know. If you guys didn't watch Seinfeld, you won't know it. You won't get that reference, but I was a big Seinfeld watcher whenever I was younger. And I have continued to watch it on and off throughout my adult years. Oh, I got it. Iris Sakura. Got it. Alright, let's get a ration out. Let's see what we got in here. I know I got, like, some good ones. There's some beef patties and some pork patties. Like, we got doubles and triples of. I think we got triples of the beef patty, if I'm not mistaken. But so there's a pork patty. There's a pork patty. And ham slice. We got a bunch of ham slice, too. I wouldn't mind having a ham slice. I could go for a ham slice. Turkey diced in gravy. We got us another pork patty. Okay, so that, I think that made 3 on the pork patty side. First time I ever had bad crackers, I think, was last week as well. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's the first time I ever had bad MRE crackers. I've had bad civil defense crackers before. Yep, pork patty, okay. What's this one? So we got 2 turkey diced in gravy. Okay. Another ham slice. It's an interesting case. Beef slices with barbecue sauce. Ham and chicken loaf. That's an odd one. Ham slice. And beef patty. So only 1 beef patty from what I can tell. Let's do a ham slice. Why not? There's a couple of those in here. There's a couple pork patties too. Quite a few pork patties actually. Those are good to share with people that have never had a vintage MRE because they're typically pretty safe to try. You know, the freeze-dried pork patty, even though it says dehydrated right there, pretty daggone sure it's freeze-dried. Let's see. That was the original plan, was the pork patty. So let's do that. This is the first one I came to, I believe. And it is a Right Away Foods. I don't know if that's what this case was supposed to be or not. Let me look. must be on the sleeve. Nope, Southern packaging. So Sapaco. Let's find a Sapaco one. Huh. Oh, wait, that's ham and chicken loaf. Here we go. This is pork patty. This is Right Away Foods. And that's ham slice. Check this other pork patty up here. Maybe none of them came from this case. That's turkey. There's pork patty right there. That's the one that was supposed to be in the case. Southern packaging. I would assume it was probably the original one to this case. And then they had some Right Away Foods ones as well. Oh. This meal was provided by my buddy GabeRilla that was here right before I took off. Went on first vacation I've been on in 8 years. So, I guess I do have pictures and stuff I could share a little bit with you guys. That's some really bad glare that we're getting. Oh well, it'll be all right. Got the camera angle fixed somewhat. Looking at it on my own camera here. There we go. That should have taken away the weird edges over here. Good. Yeah, I know. I know this is a late one for some folks, and it's it's not so late for anybody who's not on the East Coast. So it'll be 9 o'clock for Central, and then we got West Coast to be 7 o'clock over there. So, but I think a lot of us live on the East Coast, to be quite honest. What's up, John? I'm actually able to read the chat for the first time in like a month. Usually, recently, shouldn't say usually, but recently my chat has been doing this weird overlaying thing that has been what's made it impossible for me to be able to read the chat, so I've had to use my phone. It's really nice to have my chat back. We're just going to get right into this. So, oh, dang it. I'll have to go get it. So, I actually got to eat a 1942 B unit at Pearl Harbor on Veterans Day. I filmed it I filmed it as a video. It needs a lot of editing. I had people coming up behind me asking me questions, like really weird, like I worked there or something. It was weird. But anyways, I have that footage that I need to edit together, which is going to be cool. I kind of did it just dedicated to my grandpa, being he's a World War II vet. And the day I was there, I don't know, the way things worked out, I didn't plan it that way. It just worked out that way. So I just was going to happen to be near there in Hawaii on Veterans Day. So I got to go over and eat it, and it was fully edible. And I actually got hot water from the commissary there, so I got to make the coffee, and it was freaking amazing. It was Nescafe in a little can, and it was awesome. The biscuits were perfect. They didn't have any off taste to them whatsoever. They looked a little weird, like where they'd been in the can, but man, they tasted amazing. Like slightly sweet, lightly sweet, and the texture was perfect. They were perfectly crunchy. Now, I brought it back home, the leftovers, and the candy. The candy was perfect. It was like brand new Jolly Ranchers. They weren't sticky. They weren't weird. They were perfect. So, it was awesome. All right, let's see what's inside this 1984 pork patty, menu number 1, with accessory packet D, made by Southern Packaging and Storage Company, Incorporated, out of Mullins, South Carolina. All right, I am hungry. I have not eaten since I got home. I've been home a couple days, and I really have not eaten since I got here. Nothing seems good, tastes good. I've had a little bit of junk food that I didn't want. So this might actually be a good change of pace. So here we have our freeze-dried. It says right on it, freeze-dried cooked pork patties, which is only one. But on the bag, it says dehydrated. No, it's freeze-dried. That's what I thought. And who did this? Right Away Foods looks like they are the ones who... So this was a Southern Packaging. Sapaco. I'm just going to use Sapaco. This is a Sapaco, but Right Away are the ones who did the freeze drying of this pork patty, according to this. Well, 1844. I do not know what kind of lot codes those are, but this thing weighs virtually nothing. Like, if I was to guess, I mean, it's half an ounce maybe. Freeze dried, it doesn't weigh much, hardly at all. Very little. Ooh, look at that. That is a score. A 1984 applesauce. You know that's going to be good. Plus, we know that it's seen some heat because Gabe stored them in some heat. Did our crackers make it? Ooh, I don't know. Maybe. These ones feel a lot better than the last ones. It does seem as if there's like a not sealed gap on the top right here, though. Especially on this side, right here, as you can kind of see. These will maybe be okay. 1984 crackers. Oh, man. See, I hate to see that. Friggin' cheese spread from 1984. It actually feels okay, believe it or not. Surprisingly, doesn't feel like it's separated and gotten hard on one end versus the other. And, oh, hey, look. Hey, there's Dan. Welcome home, Smokey, and hi to all awesome people in here. Well, thanks for the super chat, Dan. You know you don't have to do that, Dan. Well, I can actually read my chat for a change, which is cool. The only thing is your super chat overlapped someone else's chat. So that's been the only weird chat thing that's happened so far. But I was still able to read it. And everybody else's chat looks like it's normal still. So, cool. I know that, like, the hours are messed up for everybody. Like, my days are completely messed up right now. I went through 4 airports yesterday. No, I got home the night before. I got home at, like, 10 p.m. the night before. And then I couldn't sleep once I got home, even though I was exhausted. Because it would have been, like, 5 p.m. where I had just left. So, I don't know. It's been weird. I think I ended up falling asleep at, like, 3 or 4 a.m., Then I got up at noon today, and I was like, God, I feel like I overslept. This is awful. And I sat back down, and, like, then I didn't wake back up for 6 hours. So, I mean, I knew I was tired, but I didn't think I was that tired. What is it now? Smokey has always to me turned around and ran home. Wait, what? Oh, halfway. Smokey was halfway to me and turned around and ran home. Well, yeah, and you were almost a full day ahead of me, which was crazy. So where I was at, Dan was shy 3 hours of being a full day ahead of me, which was, I think it was 3 hours difference, which was crazy. Yeah, I think the flight from where I was at to get to you would have only been like 10 hours, which is a lot, but still. All right, these are what we call in the ration community Reagan cookies. So Ronald Reagan would have been in office when these cookies right here would have been circulating or would have been produced. Made by Sterling Bakery out of Kennewick, San Antonio, Texas. And there is a zip code on there, 78238. which should still be the same today. I mean, wherever Kennewick, Texas, 5722 Kennewick, Texas. No, Kennewick, San Antonio, Texas. Pretty cool. All right, we got us a accessory packet here. Kind of the classic style, vintage. Coffee, creamer, sugar, catsup, salt, chewing gum, matches, and paper toilet. Toilet paper. This better be a cocoa beverage powder. It is. Oh, I need hot water. Yes. Let me go get some hot water going, because we're going to need hot water for this. And that's it. Cool. All right. Let me get some hot water going, and I'll be right back. I can only heat up 2 cups worth at a time. But that'll get our drinks done. Then I'll heat up some more for the main afterwards. Yeah, that'll work. Still mad, still. Alright. Yeah, I was shocked at how good that coffee turned out to be. But I was lucky that the tin was sealed so well. It took me a minute to get it open with my pocket knife, but I finally did get it open. Yes, I did travel halfway across the world with a pocket knife. That's just how I travel. I like to have some sort of protection on me, and also it's a great tool. Alright, need a tray. Need my tray. Where's my tray? What'd I do with it? Have any of you guys flown recently? You see this stupid, like, this is what they give you. That's like, there's a bite in there. There's like 15, 20 almonds in that bag. And then they're still giving you the full-size Biscoff cookies. Like, they haven't changed at all. But your other snacks, they've gotten smaller. I mean, airplane snacks have always been small, but this is ridiculous. So now, instead of just giving you one package that would be a decent little snack, they give you 2 or 3 or 5. It's kind of silly. That it didn't save them anything by making them smaller. You know what I mean? I don't think it did. Tray's a little bit dirty from sitting here for the past, I don't know, couple weeks maybe, unused. I guess I left something a little sticky on it too, huh? I know I washed it after I used it last. Anyway, it is what it is. A little dirt never killed nobody. There we go. Crackers. Beef patty. Applesauce goes in the middle. Accessory packet, which we still got to get opened up. There's our cookies, cheese spread, and, oh yeah, our spoon. I must have missed that the first time. All right, let's look in the accessory packet right quick. There we go. Didn't mean to cut all the way through it like that. Give it a smell. That's an interesting scent. Huh. It smells different than usual. I'm not just smelling like the normal matches and cardboard and spearmint gum. And, well, the gum looks pretty good, I must say. Not bad. Let's see what else we got up in here. And we got some blue butt ration, or napkins, or whatever you want to use it for. We've got some very light colored book of matches with black matches, white tip, obviously strike on back. We got our little blue pack of iodized salt, made by Stickney and Pour out of Chelmsford, Massachusetts. We got a thing of Amstar sugar, 6 grams of that, good stuff. We have a perfect package of dehydrated catsup, or ketchup. Feeling absolutely perfect. Some non-dairy creamer, good looking stuff. And a beautiful package of coffee instant, 2.2 grams net. Got the ascorbic acid in it. And I think that's it, right? Yeah, okay, I got everything. Good stuff, good stuff. Man, that's good stuff. All right, let's do this. Let me go get the water, and we'll take care of the drinks real quick. Coffee cup. Just got a new coffee cup. I'll have to get it out. Guess I can go ahead and prep, get the cocoa beverage powder ready. I hear the microwave beeping again. Yeah, this, I have a feeling already that this is going to be a surprisingly good ration. That, and I'm really, really hungry. So that's the only way to eat old MREs, is if you're really, really hungry. Or that's the best way to eat them. It's not the only way, but it's the best way. My cat in there's going crazy. Alright, I gotta try some powder. Yeah. Initially, a little salty, but perfect. It tastes absolutely perfect. ForeignMRE.com. I don't know if they got anything going on right now or not as far as rations online. I haven't looked for a while. I need to try to buy a box of First Strike rations. I've seen some really fresh ones floating around. Get this coffee instant opened up. Yeah, they ain't got nothing no more. Okay. Oh no! Wait, what? What's happening here? Oh no! It's kind of weird. What the heck? Huh. Well, I've actually not had one look like this before. They're either good or they're not. Usually they're like a tongue or they're perfect. Not usually a whole lot of in between. This kind of looks like in between. Alright, I'll add the sugar. We're going to give it a shot anyway. I think it'll be just fine. I think it might dissolve. We'll see. As far as I'm concerned, like the 6 grams of sugar is just about perfect for this serving size of coffee. Oh, I should have checked that first, but it's looking good. Looking perfect, actually. Just like the last one, surprisingly. A lot of times those creamers don't make it. A lot of times, but this one, looking pretty good. All right, be right back. don't know about this coffee. I only need to save a little bit of water for that, so I don't have to heat any more up. Doesn't take much. Really, it only takes about an ounce. Alright, I'll have to get to it pretty quick. So set these off to the side, or the water will cool down too much. Alright. Let's open the crackers real quick. Let's see if we get any hiss. Oh, yes. We did get the classic hiss, which makes me happy. It means these are probably edible. And wow, look how toasty and salty. Makes my mouth water just looking at them. That is what the crackers are supposed to look like. And I'll bet it's what they're supposed to taste like too. Like overall. I think this is in really good shape. I mean, that's a really good looking thing of cheese bread. It ain't all delaminated and weird. Like, it's looking pretty good. I don't want to use my razor blade on it, so I'll use my pocket knife on it. There it is, ready to go. Guess I'll use my knife on these too. Ration cookies. Maybe. Nice. Very good. Look at that. Pretty much perfection. They always put the two cookies like this, and they're like always completely melted together. I'm convinced they were dipped together. I don't think they were ever two separate cookies that just kind of melted together. But there they are. Cookies. The Reagan type. Let's get the applesauce opened up. A date code on there. 107th day of 1984. So we're coming up on this being what, 40 years old? Is that right? Yeah, coming up on 40 years old. I mean, it's just shy of 40 years old. It's like 150 days shy, roughly. Oh, that's looking good. Wow. How about that? Nice. Very good. And the little glue-in spot, but that ain't nothing. That's normal. Normal. I don't know if a little bowl or a big bowl on this. You guys can probably hear my son in the background back there doing his computer thing, playing video games. It'll probably fit in this bowl. Yeah, we'll use the little bowl. We'll see. I think it'll fit. You was like 25 win, Tim. You was 25 in 84. I was 2. So, actually, I wouldn't even been 2 yet. Oh, no. Did I just do that? Shit. I did. Alright. Let's get some applesauce in this bowl. Oh boy. Oh no, it's like solid. Ooh. I should have kneaded it up, maybe. Oh man, that is just... Okay, I've not ever seen this before, actually. This is a new one. Huh. So solid applesauce. Oh, it's so dark. So dark. Okay. Well, I don't know about that, y'all. That looks not right. Ooh, and it doesn't smell right either. Oh my gosh. Whoa. Well, that's the sourest smelling applesauce I've ever encountered. Ooh, that's some interesting applesauce. It smells tangy. Ooh, I don't even know about that. I don't even. I mean, even it's making my mouth water even, which is kind of silly, but it is. All right, this is a pork patty, right? Not beef patty. It's pork patty. It's the good kind. The pork patty's better than the beef patty, in my personal opinion. Like, we're gonna rehydrate half of it. Slap some of this water down up in there. Up, down, down, up, up, down. That's about the perfect amount of water for half the patty. All right, all right, all right. Let me just kind of... set that right there. Okay. Spoon. Do I have one? I should. But I got one up here. Okay. All right. Let's give this a stir over here. Yeah, still got a lot of powder in the bottom. It's getting hard. Turns into like this weird sticky goop. Give the coffee a stir real quick. It didn't really need it. Huh. Well, maybe it did. I think a bunch of them pieces are stuck. Yep, are stuck to the bottom of the cup. And I just sloshed that out everywhere. Napkin. All right, it's definitely got some kind of curdling going on, and coffee stuck to the bottom of the cup. See, it's on the spoon. But with enough stirring, it might incorporate itself into the liquid. Good enough. All right. Time to try the pork patty. Let's just break a piece off. Take a look inside. It's a very freeze-dried 40-year-old piece of pork that has absolutely no smell, which is a great sign. And we're just going to just going to take the first bite. Minnie. Minnie. Come here. Kitty, kitty, kitty. Come here. Come here. Okay, it's salty. What's up, James? Minnie, come here, honey. Minnie. Let me go deal with her. Be right back. Okay. So, it's salty. It's crunchy. It doesn't taste like a breakfast sausage, really. Some of them I encounter from this era, from 80 to 85, first era. Some of them have a lot of that, like sage and, you know, breakfast, like patty spices. This one is more on the just straight up pork kind of plain. It's slightly spiced. It's really good. This is the way I prefer it. I prefer it to be less spiced because whenever it's got all those breakfast spices in it, kind of just puts me in the mind of it being only a breakfast item. And in this case, like, this is more like a savory kind of lunch item. And it's really good. It's actually quite tasty. And to be quite honest, like, their freeze-drying technology back then was really in its earlier stages. And I would say they've done a great job with this, because had they not gotten all the moisture out of here, this would not be edible today. I mean, and it's couldn't be any more edible than it is. I can smell the pork. It was well cooked before it was freeze-dried. Whoever made this sausage 40 years ago did a good job. Another weird thing to think about is whoever cooked this might not still be alive. How weird is that to think? I mean, that's quite the possibility. Alright, I'm going to have to go let her out. She just came in, too. Minnie, I don't know what you want. You're killing me. Hey, Amber, will you help deal with this cat? Or feed her. Yeah, to think that whoever cooked this is no longer around is kind of a weird thought and feeling. But they did a good job. The only thing I would say is there's not enough of it. Let's check on the... I don't think it's really had long enough, but maybe. And I think this little plastic bag might have had a hole in it. Got some liquid down in there. Let's see if we can get us a piece cut out of there. There we go. All right. Pork patty. Rehydrated. After 40 years. Down the hatch. Mm. I think that's actually better than dry, because it kind of creates its own gravy and really intensifies and helps the flavor. And it's not as salty this way either. They're both good. They're both really good. I gotta have some with some cracker. But I want to try the cracker before I go. After last week, I gotta at least try it first. I heard the hiss, so this should be fun. But them crackers last time were really bad. This is a really grainy variety of MRE cracker. Not so much on the malted barley, more on the heavy grain side. More of a, I don't know, they're really savory cracker. Slap that on there. Looks like a proper place for it. All right. Let's set this back here for a minute. Looks like dinner. That gives me real breakfast sandwich vibes. Like sausage biscuit. I don't know why, but like the flavor of these crackers mixed with that sausage kind of give me that, it just really tastes like a biscuit. Let's see how much sausage I got left here. Not much, probably. Got about a bite and a half left. Let's see if we can get us a little bite for this little piece of cracker here. All right. Yeah, this is one, like, if you can pick up a vintage MRE and you can find a beef or a pork patty, I highly recommend trying to get you one, because this is going to be your best shot at trying to eat something. Now, obviously, once you open it up and you see if it's in this kind of shape, you're going to be good to go. I mean, that, I don't think that's food anymore. I don't think that's edible. I will maybe try it. Maybe. I'll at least taste it, because it's a maybe for me. It's a hard no for most people, I would have to assume, but I'm on the fence about it. It smells really weird, which is not normal for applesauce. Let's take a look at this. Now, this should be like a light peachy color when it was new. It's a little darker than it should be, but, you know, it's not scaring me so far. Oh, man. Dang it. Oh, jeez. I don't care about losing the cracker. It's the cheese that's on my table now. Ugh. Let's try this again. One more time. Now, these crackers are kind of crumbly compared to like what usual vintage crackers are like. The color's a little weird on this. It's a little dark. Let me smell it. Okay, it smells like Play-Doh. It's got that real sharp kind of Play-Doh-y smell going on. Alright, here we go. And give it a try. Ooh, nope. No, oh. It's edible, but it ain't good. What does that taste? It tastes like something I've had before. Like civilian-wise. Something of the civilian food variety that this cheese mimics. Ooh. Well, that's burning the crap out of my tongue. I did not expect that. Huh. Yeah, that's real bad. Alright, I gotta wash it down with some coffee. Burning my throat now, too. Yeah, that's horrible. Way worse than I thought it would be. I really didn't think that'd be that bad. Yeah, that's some funky cheese right there. The oils go rancid in it. Oh, well, it's kind of stuck to it. That's from where I dropped it. Anyway, I'm going to pick it back up. The oils go rancid in it, and that's where that burning sensation comes from. But the flavor that comes with a really, really bad cheese spread, which that one felt good, and obviously it looked good, you know, the packaging, it just didn't hold up. It's seen too much heat and then cool and then heat and then cool and then heat and then cool. It'd be my guess. Just because of the storage I know that Gabe put it through. Well, that applesauce is looking pretty interesting. Well, the only bad thing so far, well, I haven't tried the applesauce yet. The only bad thing's been the cheese spread so far. Everything else has been all right. Coffee had turned out all right, even though it looked a little weird. Turned out just fine. Cocoa beverage powder's good. Yeah, it might be more like a, it might definitely have more of an alcoholic tendency to it. I don't know whether to just mix it up or go at it the way it is. It looks really weird the way it is. It's kind of bothering me. Oh. It's really, it's like that dry pudding consistency. Like a thick pudding consistency. I'm mixing it up. I can't help it. It's really gelatinous. And I'm not a fan of gelatinous things. If you guys have kept... Oh, man. I don't know what would cause it to go so solid like this. Oh, man. This is the weirdest applesauce I think I've maybe ever encountered. Seriously, I don't think I've come across one even remotely like this before. Alright, I'm not going to be real brave. I'm going to try just that to start with. Alright? Like, just to get a taste. And, you know, any haters that want to not believe me, which, I mean, it's applesauce, but... Ooh, it's got a real rotten taste to it. I've not encountered that before, like a rotten apple. Usually they add enough sugar on top that kind of, I guess, neutralizes that really thick, kind of rotten, well, I guess rotting stage that would happen if it didn't have the sugar. And I feel like they kind of forgot to put some of the sugar up in this or something, because it just tastes like a rotten apple, more or less. It's definitely sour, really sour. It's not horrible. I wouldn't call it good. Usually I like a soured vintage applesauce. Usually I'm all over it because it will still have a sweetness to it. This doesn't have the sweetness to it, which is odd. Like, I've not encountered one that didn't have a fair amount of sweetness left to it. I'm trying to really press it against the roof of my mouth. It's just got this weird off rotten flavor to it. It's not horrible. It's not good either. What'd you say, Gabe? What's up, dude? Well, I'm eating one of your MREs right now. Kind of a weird timing. I was so jet lagged yesterday and today. Like, I barely got this live stream started. I slept till like, I don't know, 6 something, had to shower and slow moving. My cheeks look different though, huh? The more I eat it, the more I don't hate it. First bite was worse. Second bite was not as bad. But it's the consistency I really can't get over. That weird, like, I don't even know. Solid, massive apple sauce. Hey, buddy. Hi. Well, you got one of your pupils is bigger than the other. That's not good. Okay, it went away. That's the applesauce container, which I'm sure you don't want anything to do with. Hi, buddy. Hi. Hi. What's on your paws, dude? Nope, you're not getting on my table. Nope. 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 You're all wet. What did you do? He's all wet. You've been in the house. How did you get all wet? Weirdo. Alright, you're going to knock that down. Well, you know, this is probably, I would call it kind of edible. Kind of. So the only thing I think you would, like, have trouble with would be the cheese spread because of the side effects of... See how, like, his paws are wet on the... Like, I don't know what he's got. His head's wet. His face is wet. Was he just taking a bath? Is that all? Oh, he's a well love him. He's a good guy. Yes, I love him. Hi. Hi. Hey, go on, buddy. Go on. Big guy. He drinks out of the faucet. Like, I'll turn the faucet on and he'll get up there and it's got to be turned down real low, but he'll drink right directly out of the faucet. Because he's a weirdo. Okay. Alright, I want to try a cracker on this applesauce. The cracker might actually kind of neutralize some of that weird flavor that's going on inside of this. These pork patties are really good, by the way, Gabe. Bro, you can't be doing that. He's got some sort of ear problem. Ear infection. I'm going to have to take him to the vet. Okay. Well, this is usually what I really like and enjoy to do with vintage applesauces. But this one is not like the typical vintage applesauce that is somewhat sweet. This one has not got the sweetness going on. Anyway, we'll give it a try. It's not horrible. It's not my favorite, but I'll go in for seconds for a big bite. Yep, I won't eat any more of that. That was just weird. I mean, you can eat it if you wanted, but it's way out of my comfort zone as far as textures go. If it was smoother, I might consider it. Even though the flavor's definitely got that rotten apple flavor to it. It's not horrible, though. So, the Reagan cookies. These things, no joke, are hard. Hard as a rock. Like, I only cut through one. You got your oatmeal cookie inside, chocolate covered on the outside. Down the hatch. Eating one at a time ain't too bad, but trying to eat them both, I don't know, kind of hard. Wow, look at the difference in the cookies. One on the bottom is way darker than the one on the top. Huh. That's weird. Alright. Got that. I already tried that one. Let's try the darker one on the bottom, see if there's a difference. Definitely a difference already in consistency. Huh. It's kind of lacking in flavor compared to this cookie. This cookie had more flavor, a lot more crunch. Oh, yeah. Wow. Big difference. So this one kind of must have soaked up like the moisture from the chocolate on the bottom. I mean, look at the difference. Consistency-wise, chewing them up, very different. Good. Both of them are good. No weird, waxy residue or anything like that. Quite tasty, actually. I think following it up with the cocoa beverage powders would be about as good as it gets. Gonna have to dip this in the coffee. Just because. Why not? That's definitely the way to have that. Softened it right up. Got a nice hard hint of that coffee up in there. Coffee added something to it. The cocoa beverage powder is perfect. I mean, it's so good. So good. It's the most well-balanced cocoa beverage powder that you can get your hands on, in my opinion. Like the sweetness, the creaminess, all the things that you want in a cocoa beverage powder. These first era and even second and third era, I think. I got to check to see what year really the cocoa beverage powder went downhill. But the earlier MRE cocoa beverage powders are amazing. It's a big old thanks to Gabe for hooking me up with those too, because if it wasn't for Gabe, I wouldn't have those. Huh. I have not had a palm oil non-filtered in a little while. And I think I'll have one right now. So this meal overall, like, I ate almost the whole thing. All except for the, well, I mean, I could eat the applesauce. All except for the cheese spread. Some matches. You voted for Reagan? I wasn't old enough to vote for Reagan. So you would have been, what did you say, you was 26 in 84? 24 in 84? These ain't quite as old as the meal, but they're good. I got to get through, I haven't had time to go through the smokes that Gabe left for me here. There's some good ones. Oh. Yeah, there's supposed to be a meteor shower tonight. Alex just texted me and said there's one tonight. Got to go watch the news. Adios, investory. Hope there's not too much bad news. I haven't watched the news in a few weeks. I haven't caught any, like, alternative news or anything. So I don't know what's been going on. Which, you know, I mean, maybe that's a good thing. It's a good thing to take a break from that every once in a while, because it does get overwhelming and negative, and because there's never anything good going on. Hardly ever. I won't say never, but hardly ever. I think it's raining here too. Let's see. Maybe not right now, but it has been. It's cold here. I went from 80 degrees to, I don't know what it is. Let me see what the weather is right here right now. Let's see. New York. Here we go. 32. So it's quite literally freezing right now. We got a low of 27 tonight. At some point. Sunrise is at 7:16 a.m. And even the Weather Channel is showing the meteor shower tonight. So, meteor shower. I saw something about it last night, but I figured it was already over. So I'll have to definitely go outside and check that out. I also need to do something with all that. Like, I've got days upon days of really weird footage off my back porch back here. MREs have went up in price since everything else went up in price. You've got to but let's just put it this way: you've always had to search for a good deal when it comes to MREs or vintage rations, especially vintage rations. But new stuff. Like, if you look hard enough, if you're not pressed to have them, like, day after tomorrow, like, you got to have them right now. If you've got a few weeks that you can look and spend the time on looking for a good deal on MREs, you will find it. Like, I've never not found a good deal on MREs if I was patient enough and waited. And you got to spend a lot of time looking, because whenever they pop up and they're a decent deal, they're gone quick. Oh, LC. Oh, cool. Yeah, I knew it was late, which I don't know what time it is for you where you're at. Probably like 7 something, 8 something maybe, 8 something maybe. I don't know what that said. 11:21, maybe 8 something. I don't know how many hours behind me you are, but you should be behind me. Let's see. I don't have very many pictures on this phone. I doubt that I can vacation, but maybe some. I guess I did take pictures with this phone at Pearl Harbor. I'll be daggone. Huh. Check that out. That's with the Arizona in the background. Huh. So yeah, maybe I did. And there is on the memorial. I was by myself. Just some guys folding up some flags. Pearl Harbor. What is it? Got a good deal on new halal British ORP. Not sure when it will meet my tray though. Got a few MREs ahead of it. Good for you that you found a decent deal on a halal ORP, because those are not common. Hey, look at that. Late had Kay's live stream and didn't see this until the oldest pointed it out. No worries, and you don't have to super chat. I'm watching the chat right now. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate that, LC. Oh, here we go. It's a live picture, but here, let me flip back through it. That's the B unit that I ate. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Oh, you know what? Where I got my iPhones linked, I think all my pictures might be on here as well. Or maybe I got these whenever, because a lady took a picture of me. And she came up to me afterwards and she's like, hey, I got a picture of you when you was in there in the memorial all by yourself. I was like, oh, that's cool. She goes, you want me to send it to you? I'm like, sure. Why not? So I gave her my number and she texted me that picture. That's pretty cool that someone did that. But it looks like that's where I run out of photos. So go to my library here. Months, maybe. Breakfast. I took room pictures at some point. Had a real nice room. The bathroom was awesome. Check out the bathroom. It's like all marble. There's a shower over here to the whatever side this is for you guys. Over here next to my finger. It's pretty cool. It's a nice bathroom. Bidets everywhere, which is also weird for me. Oh yeah, I did send you some pictures, Smitty. They all look like postcards. Am I wrong? Like it's kind of crazy. So here is one that I saw this after a few days after I saw a postcard very similar to this. I don't know if you guys can see it. See the rainbow right here? I saw that when I was driving in, and that rainbow lingered for like an hour. It was kind of crazy. So that rainbow was there from the time I drove in, went through the whole process of checking in, which took about a half hour, and then going out and getting on the boat and riding out to the actual, because that's on the ride out to the memorial. So that was pretty cool. I guess it doesn't matter. That's another room picture. It's pretty cool. Yeah, but 2019's in Edmonton for $200 a case. That's not too bad. think the line on 2020s dried up, aside from expensive eBay ones. I mean, you can get 2020s for $20 a piece. That's, I mean, after shipping, you're going to have about 30-ish, something like that. Probably. I don't know what you have in them. Not 20. Yeah, 50 doesn't make no sense for an IMP. Like, that's British ORP prices. Even in today's day, like, we're talking 1 meal versus 3 meals. $50 for 1 meal is just, I can't do it. Unless it's pre-1972, I ain't doing it. Okay, that was the view from my room. It's pretty good. First time I ever seen blue water. Breakfast was beyond amazing. The French toast, oh my God, here. French toast. Absolutely amazing. Best French toast I'd had in a while. Which, the French toast that I can get around here, like Bob Evans, or I cook it myself, is the best. But French toast around here, Bob Evans, or I think that's really the only place that has French toast. Now that I think about it, and it sucks. Their cooks suck now. Then I took a bunch of pictures of some Rembrandts, which I guess after I took these pictures, I looked around before I did it to make sure there was no, like, don't take pictures, don't video signs. And then I got further into the art museum, and it was like there was a sign that said don't take pictures and video, but I did it. I'd already done it, so it was already over with. It's not like I was going to erase them, but I have to assume that I walked through a few $1 million worth of art. Those are Picasso. No, wait. Those are Picassos. Nope. Never mind. Hang on. Right here. That's Picasso. Right there. Yeah, Pablo. Yeah. All this stuff is. Not that. I took some pretty random pictures, I guess. What am I doing here? What the heck? There we go. Broke out my artistic side, taking some pictures of some flowers. Get off there. What the heck? Anyway, I can't even scroll through these. What the heck is going on? My phone locked up. Well, huh. There we go. Nobody gives a about the flowers. I don't know what was going on right there. It was one of those. Oh, okay. It was in like that Asian like remake of some sort of. I can't remember what this thing was. Some sort of remake of something in Japan. Bunch of fish. Anyway. Here we go. There's a seal. Pictures of the water and crap. Anyway. So yeah. Got pictures of stuff. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Like, you don't see seashells or anything. I did see a snail. Big one, actually. This one right here. on the ground, which was a little odd to see. You got a company really named after you, Smitty? Or it just happens to have the same name as you? Or it was like, was it actually your company? Hang on, there was the car that they tried to rent us right here that was just beat up. It was all stained up. The top wouldn't go down on it. It had rust on the hood already. Like, this thing was like a 2021. And it was beat up. So they ended up swapping me out for a newer car. They offered me a Corvette. I should have took it. But my bags wouldn't fit in it. So I ended up turning down the Corvette because of the fact that my bags wouldn't fit in it. I wish I'd have took it. Still, I kind of regretted it afterwards. I know. It was a 2019 bright red Stingray. It would have been cool, but there's no way our luggage would have fit in it. So I guess I still could have got it, but I would have had to make 2 trips and come back and pick up luggage. It wouldn't have been efficient. I went to Hawaii. I went to Waikiki. First vacation I've had in 8 years. So kind of splurged a little bit and kind of went overboard, I guess. I guess I could have tried strapping it on top. I don't know if they'd have let me out of there like that. Knowing those rental car people, they didn't care. They had no knowledge of vehicles whatsoever, which was weird. Yeah, I feel like I needed to take a break a little bit. Like I got myself to the point of being more or less burned out on everything. The last time I was on vacation, my kids were kids. Like, and then it was a 4-year stint that I, like, still couldn't do anything. And then it kind of ran into doing the TV show, which kind of vacation-y. I mean, most people would think that, but there was no downtime. Like, it was all go from this point to this point to this point to this point to this point, and then get up at 6:30 and film till 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. So that's one of my huge regrets at this point, is even though I was hurt and in a situation where vacation didn't make sense, I wish I would have done it anyway. Found a way. But I just took the easy way out and was like, man, I'm hurt. Like, there ain't no really way of me getting around. I'm just going to, I need to stay here. I should have at least sent them on vacation and stayed home or something. I feel like I regret not taking my kids after I got hurt. Like, I made it a point to go on vacations before I got hurt, and then after I got hurt, like, I just couldn't myself. But they could have, and I should have just sent them. That wasn't a financial possibility for the first 3 years, really. I mean, they were paying me $20 a day. But Aletha, now that you got a baby, I would say don't worry about vacations till they're like 5. Once they're 5, hit that every year. Save up for vacations now, so whenever they hit that 5-year mark, you can at least hit one a year. It's pretty sad that we have to think that way as Americans, because really you should be able to do something when you feel like doing it, but that's not how it works here. Yeah, so you got a solid 4.5 years of, like, being able to prepare and wait to worry about going on vacations. When kids are that little, you don't worry about yourself anymore. Like you come last. I mean, it's not shouldn't be that way. You should take care of yourself, but that's the way I did, or the way I thought. I guess I should say is I came last. Oh, dude, if you can, absolutely, man. I mean, it is one of my regrets. Like, especially now that my kids, 22 and 19, and I've had some conversations with my 22-year-old. I feel like he said some things that made me think that I dropped the ball on that. Like, so all I can do now is try to somewhat make up for it, but it's not going to be the same. Like, because I can't take my kids to Disneyland, and that'd be the thing, a cool thing for them anymore. You know what I mean? Because now they're young adults, and it's not going to be the same. Although my younger one, my 19-year-old, still, I think he likes roller coasters a lot. So I think he would enjoy that. I can't hardly take him, man. I'll ride one or two, and my stomach is just like, you got to stop. You got to quit doing whatever you're doing. So I mean, I try. We went to actually, that would have been the last vacation we took before I got hurt, was Cedar Point. And I want to say it was like starting to get chilly. I think it was around October when we went up there, because I remember, I think there was like some haunted house stuff happening, if I remember right, which I think we were like right at the very end of the season, if I'm not mistaken. And I can't remember when that was. So we hit Cedar Point, and then the last beach vacation we did was Myrtle Beach. And I rented us a boat, and I took my whole family, my mom and dad, and my kids, and my old lady out, which was cool. Like, we got the boat for the whole day and went to this island where there was a bunch of shells, which was, I like picking up shells. I don't know. Couldn't bring any home from Hawaii, though, because they say if you bring anything home from Hawaii, that you get it's cursed. You get a curse. So I didn't bring anything home. Nothing that I didn't buy. So I found a couple shells that I could have brought home. I did not do that. You guys saw the little snail the snail was in there, though. Like, I would have never taken that, obviously. It's cool to see. That was the only one I saw like that, though. I didn't see I didn't see as much as I expected when it comes to shells. I did do a little bit of snorkeling and saw a good amount of fish and whatnot, and some sea turtles, which was awesome. One, it was about 5.5, 6 foot. Like, it was huge sea turtle. And then there was a smaller one hanging around with it. They were together. They didn't look so healthy, though. I got some video of them somewhere. So it's not just a volcanic rock. It's supposedly anything. Seashell, volcanic rock, anything. But especially the volcanic rock, I guess there's a place where people send them back to. If they bring them home, they'll send them back, and there's hundreds, if not thousands, of them being sent back to the location every year with handwritten stories of what has happened since they brought it home. So, like, I didn't want to tempt fate and, like, bring anything home. So I just followed the rule, what I heard and learned, and didn't bring anything back. What island did you live on? Irish? Wait, I must have missed it. Wait. I'm not exactly sure what the story is. Amber's the one that was telling me before we ever left, like, you can't bring anything back. So I just kind of had that stuck in my head the whole time. What island did you live on, Irish? Let's find out. Let's go back through the comments here. I see the commercials for Disney World with 3-4-year-old kids. Don't do that. Yeah, they won't remember. No, you like, they need to be. Look, I still to this day remember when I was 4 or 5 going to Kings Island. I remember the ice cream. I remember Smurf ice cream. I remember crying whenever they had this dog, dressed up like a dog. I can't remember what its name was, but it freaked me out. I remember that, and I remember riding some of the kiddie rides. To this day, I still remember that. And my mom swore up and down whenever I was younger, when I was like between the ages of 10 and 15 years old, she's like, there's no way you can remember that. And I'm like, Mom. And I'd tell her these things that I know happened, and she knew that they happened. So I remembered those things whenever I was little, but like 4 or 5 years old is really pushing the limits of when you'll retain those memories. Anything before that, like, maybe you might remember a shadow of certain things that happened, maybe, but you're not going to remember much, if anything at all. So, I mean, 6 years old for sure. Like, that 5, 6 years old, I mean, that's when you should be. I think that's probably when, between 6 and 9 would probably be when Disneyland and World would be the funnest for kids. That's just my thoughts on the matter. I mean, maybe certain people think differently. If you teach your children to be materialistic, if you failed as a parent and as a person. Yeah, I mean, I think it's the memories that my kids are like lacking, of just being on the vacations together and having those special away from home moments. It's just not being home doing the normal everyday makes it a lot more special, being out and doing something. And to do that, it costs money. Like, you can't do it. I guess you can do it not for free, but cheaply. You can do it as cheaply as possible, which I've always been an extremely frugal person. So my oldest son wants to just travel with minimalistic backpack. I don't know if he really knows what he wants, like really understands what that would entail, but I just encountered a kid who was doing exactly that. And I talked to him, got to know him. What the heck? Keep hearing a phone ringing. Okay, it stopped for now. Anyway, I ran into this kid who's doing just that. He climbed Mount Kilimanjaro. He was in Hawaii. He was going to Japan next, is what his plan is. So, I don't know if my son would want to do that or not. It wasn't you. It wasn't the house phone. Like, my other cell phone's sitting right here. So, I don't know where that was coming from, but it sounded like it was coming from right here somewhere. And I don't see where it could be coming from. I don't know, it was weird. I don't know if you guys could hear it or not. If you could do it again, yeah, perhaps with kids, you'll get a chance. See, if I hadn't had kids early, I feel like I probably would have done something like that. That would have been, because I traveled a lot whenever I was younger, for work, just to take care of my family. I was all over the East Coast, up and down. New York is where I started out. Then came back into Pennsylvania. Then came back to maybe Ohio for a minute, and then back to Pennsylvania, and then back to New York, then uh, did some Kentucky, obviously West Virginia. I don't know. I traveled a lot whenever I was younger. Down to Georgia, did a little bit of, I guess, the top in Florida. Uh, where else? Tennessee. Yeah, I did some traveling whenever I was younger. Just again, just for work. Yeah, there's some chunks in this coffee. Parents doing rendezvous like meeting up. Yeah, my parents didn't do a lot of that. They hated each other. I can remember the McDonald's parking lot meetups though. They were few and far between, but they happened. Foodland parking lot, McDonald's parking lot. My dad was all over the country, and then I wouldn't see him for a couple years. My dad was a, excuse my language, he was an asshole. Um, he could have done a lot better, but we turn out the way we turn out because of the stuff we go through. And I feel like I tried to do the opposite for my kids. Like, I didn't want my kids to go through the stuff that I went through as a kid. And you know, it's weird how that turns out, like how that works out, how that turns out, all the things that it changes. It's pretty weird. Like, when you really start thinking about the differences that probably made long term for my kids, like whether it been good or bad. Um, I've made plenty of mistakes. Plenty of mistakes. I've done a lot of things I should have done differently. But again, like, those things are over. All I can do now is do the best from here on out. And I think next month, my plan is to take my mom and my two kids to New York, because my mom wants to see the Christmas lights in New York. She wants to see the Christmas decorations and Christmas lights and stuff. Now, it's going to be cold. I've tried to explain to them, like, December in New York City sucks. It really sucks. It's not like it's not like the cold here. It's different because the buildings and the concrete hold that cold, and the way the wind cuts through there, man, it's just a different kind of. And plus, there's water on both sides, so you got water on both sides of Manhattan, and then you got all those concrete buildings and glass buildings and all that to create these really weird, like, vortexes, wind vortexes, and it's super cold concrete and cold buildings. So you just, like, you get double hit with the cold and that cold water on both sides. So it's cold there. It gets cold. I wrap up in New York, like, scarf wrapped all the way up around my head, great big thick jacket, gloves, thermal underwear, jeans. Like, it ain't no joke. And then you go down to the subway and you're like, God, it's hot. Get me out of here. You go from like 0 degrees on the surface, you go down into the subway and it's 70 degrees and humid because everybody's breathing down there inside them freaking train cars, and it's disgusting. New York is a weird place to be, man. Like, it, and it's I haven't been there since February of 22. I think is whenever I took Ethan. So it's been a while. We were there for his 18th birthday. So that was February of 22. That was the last time I was there. The production company was still shut down because I was trying to get my stuff back. They got like $5,000-$6,000 worth of my rations and stuff and old food they had. I'm going to bet they don't have it anymore. So there was that. And it was February. It was cold when we were there, but it wasn't as cold as it will be in December, I don't think. It wasn't horrible when we were there at the end of February, but it wasn't good either. It was pretty cold. Oh yeah, Smitty, you and Trucker just did a recent New York City trip. Got lucky and missed the hurricane and flooding. Oh yeah, you guys almost got beat, didn't you? The Rogue incident. What is that? Another flow. I don't know what that is. Was that the hurricane or whatever? I don't know. I don't know what that was. Kemmer Kemmer Rogue incident. Yeah, Chicago's got a different kind of wind. I will agree. Where it comes off the Great Lake right there, and especially when the lake gets real cold and frozen, man, it gets really really cold in Chicago. I've experienced the cold in Chicago. It's the wind. The wind in Chicago's something else. New York City, it's bad enough though. It's bad enough. Oh shit, Cambodian genocide. God. 1975 to 79. Yeah, wow. Yeah, I prefer the dry wind than versus the moist type of wind. Brought back some shells and sand when I visited Oahu. Didn't apply to me since I was born there. At least that's my guess. I guess. Lucky you. I mean, the way I looked at it was like the shells and whatnot wasn't worth the possibility of tempting the fate and tempting the god or gods, however they look at it over there. Uh, to each their own when it comes to that. I mean, there's so many different thoughts and beliefs now. I will say, like, I've been paying a little bit of attention to the prophecies because of how things have been playing out as of recent. And I swear, I want to say some of these things are forced or manufactured by man, such as like drying up the Euphrates. I swear, I think that's been done on purpose. I think we are manipulating the weather as humans, not us, but people that shouldn't be doing it. Oh, we're definitely manipulating the weather. There's absolutely no question about that in my mind. And as far as like the stuff we're putting in the air, there's just too many things that are, I guess, getting crossed off that list. So if you go into Waikiki, like as far as I understand, like none of those beaches are real. Those are all sand, the same sand that they use in California. It's all brought in. So you've got to get out away from Waikiki to see and get in real beaches, which we did. Um, and you can tell a difference. Like there is a pretty substantial difference between a natural beach and those manufactured beaches that they've got right there, which they're okay. I mean, it's just that's a touristy area. Reminded me a lot of kind of being in the city in New York. Like it just had that kind of vibe. You had the high end shops over here that I could care less about, like the Tiffany and the Gucci and like just stuff. I don't care about that stuff. All those rich people can keep it. It makes zero sense to me. I will say this though, since getting home, like actually home here, and getting used to this air here versus the air there. Number one, it's a gazillion times cleaner air in Hawaii than it is here. The air here is so contaminated and polluted from all these chemical plants and power plants and steel mills and it just you name it, and they're within I don't know 50s. If you go in like a 70-mile radius around my house, you get a lot. But even if you go in a 20-mile radius of my house, you've got a list of probably 15 within a 20-mile radius of my house. I mean, there's 3 within 2 miles of my house that way. Oh yeah, so they ship in the sand in California. They ship in the sand in Oahu. Well, not Oahu, but Waikiki. Why they don't use native sand? There must be something to do with like not disturbing the other beaches there. Would make sense. So they bring in. It's not artificial sand. It's just sand from elsewhere, and dump it. Like I seen sandbags that had been cut open and just left. Yeah, Hawaii's got its own air for sure. 100%. You're out in the middle of the ocean, nothing for what, 1,000 miles, thousands of miles. What is it, like 1,500 miles to the coast? How far is it from there to China, Japan, whatever? What's the closest landmass? I don't know. I didn't look into that. Maybe California is. Erosion, maybe losing it to the surf. They're definitely losing sand in Waikiki. I mean, 100%. I'm sure that they're adding to it pretty regular. Japan's the closest to. Okay, that makes sense actually. Pearl Harbor and whatnot. Sand loss is a big thing everywhere. So how did beaches exist when there wasn't sand erosion? Like there has to be beaches where sand just naturally builds up, right? You would think. I would think. I don't know. I don't know. I have a feeling now that I've went to Hawaii, I don't think any beach will be the same now. Um, the water there is unreal. Tidal changes due to climate change. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. Maybe. Maybe that's got a little bit to do with it. I feel like there's probably beaches where it's like zero maintenance. And then there are some that we have touristy like areas that we try to keep built up for the tourist aspect of it. I could be wrong. I could totally be wrong. That's just my thoughts on it. Like just off the chain, off the hook. Oh, we're definitely changing the climate. I think a lot of it's artificial, but there's definitely some manipulation going on, and there's some of it's natural. I mean, like I think one of the biggest problems that we have this is a personal opinion based on things that I've seen and what like how I know things work. I think the microplastics in the ocean is one of the worst problems we have, and I think that's what's heating up the water. It's heating up the earth a lot because it's like a radiator, man. Like you think about how an engine works. Like that fluid can't get clogged up. When you start clogging up your antifreeze, your engine's going to heat up. Same thing with the water. When you clog that up with all these microplastics and plastics in general, it's not going to cool the way it's supposed to cool. And in turn, you're not going to get the circulation of water up into the air that you're supposed to have. And everything's not going to cool down the way it's supposed to. Again, that's just the way I'm looking at things. I could be wrong, but it kind of seems like that's at least one of our problems. And getting all that plastic out of the ocean. So I worked maritime for years. And one of the first things that I noticed, that I remember seeing when I got onto a vessel, a marine vessel, was a sign about dumping in the water. And it said, as long as you were 3 miles away from any coastline, you could dump anything, more or less anything, into the water. And I was shocked by that. I was like, this can't be right. This isn't right. Right, guys? Like, you guys, this sign is wrong, right? No, that's how it is. Or that's how it was. I don't know if it's changed since I've gotten off out of maritime or not, but that's so stupid. It's so dumb that we're taking stuff out and just dumping it in the ocean the way that we have been. Like, what do you think's going to happen? What do you think the result of that's going to be? It's not going to be good. It's all going to be negative and bad. It's kind of silly. But 100%, that's how it was. I mean, like I said, I don't know if that's still how it is, because it's been years since I've been on a boat. But that was one of the shocking signs that I saw when I first got on a boat. Yeah, it is. It is kind of scary. It shocked me when I first saw it. I was like, this can't be right. So Tim, my thoughts on that are, haven't there been like periods of warm up for a long time, and then it cools down at like something happens? We've had cataclysmic events knock out populations. Obviously, I mean, that's pretty much agreed upon. I think most people would agree upon that because of science and what they can read through old tree rings and soil samples and ice samples up in Antarctica, which we're not allowed to go to, which I still have a huge problem with the whole Antarctica treaty thing. Like, man, that just don't make no sense. Why the whole world's governments would agree, like, to keep people out of there. That makes, it just don't make no sense to me, man. There's a lot of stuff about that rubs me the wrong way. But, you know, I guess it's nothing I can do anything about. I think it's something that people as a collective should say, this is not okay for you guys to be keeping. Another good, for instance, and so the Vatican has supposedly like 60 some miles, or is it 600 miles, some ungodly amount of shelving of ancient documents stored below the Vatican that are just locked away from all of us, all that information from the past. Shouldn't we all be privy to that? Shouldn't we all be able to read whatever's down there and know what the heck has happened in our past? Yeah, I feel like the way they used to write things down and document things was just straight up an account of what they saw, what they directly saw and dealt with. They weren't trying to manipulate history like we've been doing for the past 150 to 300 years. I would say definitely since the middle, or maybe even since the inception of America, maybe since way before then. I don't know. You know, it's hard to say whenever you start looking at this stuff with a different eye. They always say that history's written by the victors, which changes the whole perspective on how that history's written. So it's subjective. A lot of things are subjective, and it just depends on how much, I guess, how much heart you want to put into that. New York dumps old subway cars in the ocean. I'm not surprised. They dump garbage also, yep. What they don't dump, they burn. So, yeah, obviously trash is a problem. Um, a lot of the chemicals in the stuff that we've been producing for the past 50 to 80 years are problems when you get into the landfill aspect with batteries and anything chemical based can be a problem. But I have a feeling it's a lot better off being buried in soil to break down than it is to toss it in the ocean. That's just my thoughts on that. I'd much rather it slowly be breaking down underground in a quarantine area versus just floating around out in the ocean, killing the wildlife. All the sea life is dealing with that, man. It's sad. It's sad that we have let it get this way. I think about it a lot. As of, I don't know, the past few years, I've thought about it a lot. I guess whenever I first realized that they were dumping the way they were dumping in the ocean with those signs on the boats, whenever I became privy of that information, it started to bother me right then. Like, this is just not right. This is weird. I never dreamed that's how they dealt with things like that. They just dump whatever. It's kind of weird. And think about the amount of trash that we produce, and we're a pretty, in the grand scheme of things, population-wise, we're not extremely populated here in America. Versus, there's some other countries that are, good Lord, like the population that they got going on. I can't even think of the difference between there and here. Like here, we got open lands where you can drive for miles and not see nobody, or not see a house, or not see nothing. There are other countries where that's not a reality. Like, there's something everywhere. There's people rubbing shoulders everywhere. It's kind of crazy. I don't think the world's overpopulated. I think if we continue populating, I mean, we could obviously get to that point, but I think there are certain areas that are overpopulated, just not here. Elon Musk, I seen him describe it as like if you took every living human on Earth right now and put them in New York, meaning all the boroughs, what you consider to be New York City, that everybody would fit there in that area. Like, that's pretty crazy to think. You'd be stomach to back, shoulder to shoulder, but you'd all fit in that area. Every human would fit in that area. He also described like the fact that there's meteors and space trash falling out of the sky all the time, and how, like, when do you ever hear about somebody getting hit by something like that? So that's how spread out we are. Like, that very, very rarely happens that someone gets hit by something falling out of the sky like that. So we're spread out pretty good. Pick up recycling items, but they don't always recycle when it goes to the dump because there's no money to be made in recycling. Yeah, recycling's it's a pipe dream. It's great in theory. Now, when it comes to glass bottles and reusing glass bottles like the way they used to, I think that's a great thing, and it should be incentivized, and I think they should still do it to this day. For instance, this bottle right here, you see that line right there? That means this bottle was recycled multiple times. This bottle went through recycling, rubbed, because whenever they go through the cleaners, they're side by side with each other, and they rub each other, and they make these lines around them. Which means that this bottle's been recycled multiple times. That's not a one or two recycling cycle rub marks. Those are heavy rub marks being recycled multiple times. That's something that this is reusable, renewable, so they should incentivize this. But no, they don't do that because it's cheaper, it's more efficient, it's whatever excuse they want to use. But it's not better for the planet and everyone. Like that right there is a great example of something that is simple. We've already got the process to do it. All we need is people to be incentivized to save their bottles and turn them back in. Done. They go through the sterilization process, get refilled, recapped, back into circulation until they're drank again. Rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. And I know they still do it down in Mexico a lot. Like a lot of the, I don't know if I have one sitting here, but a lot of the modern Coca-Cola bottles that I bought that with like the, what are they, natural sugar or something like that. The Coca-Cola's from Mexico, but the bottles will have those rub marks around them where they've been recycled multiple times. So they still do that in Mexico, and like it's a good process. I think that's a great process to not add to the plastic bottles that are really a huge problem. The plastic bottles are a huge problem. I sound like a freaking environmentalist here, and I'm not. Like, it's not that. It's just, I just see simple ways of eliminating some of these problems that we have, that we already had the technology for, that we've already been there, done that. It worked. Why not continue with that instead of these simple throwaway plastic bottles that no one recycles? Like, hardly anyone recycles. And even if they do, I believe it was Tim that said, even if they do, they end up still going in the landfill. Losing convenient places to turn in our cans. Yeah, okay. Allowed to stop taking them, even if they're own brand. Wait. But yeah, I prefer the old bottles, and I would much prefer to save my bottles and turn them in and have them refilled. I would much prefer that. Give me, well, the way inflation is now, give me a quarter a bottle. Give me 25 cents for every bottle I save and turn back in. And that's 25 cents that they're not spending to remake that bottle. Like, surely it would cost them 25 cents the way they're charging everybody now for everything. Yeah, I guess it adds to the process. So, okay, yeah, 10 cents each in Oregon and Michigan, right? They've been that since I was a kid. Like, they haven't went up with inflation. They've stayed that 10 cents per bottle, which is even still by today's standards way more than what you get scrap aluminum by turning in the cans here, or bottles. You don't get anything. Like, you know, there's no recycling money in it to recycle glass, for it, not that I know of. Hey, Bob, good to see you, man. I was just thinking about you and your eggs that you sent me the other day. I brought them up. They came up in conversation. Hey, V? I've never heard of that. Yeah, and it's a money thing. You're right. It's greed drives the destruction of the environment, is what is really boils down to. So because Coca-Cola or Pepsi or whatever company it is can make 8 more cents per bottle versus the recycling of a glass bottle, they'd rather just pump out the plastic bottles or the cans, whatever. Grocery store chain, Central Iowa. Yeah, I've never heard of it before. You don't get anything for bottles yet. Nothing here either. Cans. The only thing you get here for cans is aluminum scrap price. Like, you just got to take it to a scrap place. Oh, they did go up from 5 cents to 10 cents. I'll be daggone, money. Easy money. Won't take back their own cans and bottles. Yeah, that's kind of funny. Well, kind of funny. I mean, it's obviously it's in their business plan to not, like, it doesn't make sense for them to recycle their own cans or bottles or whatever. I used to recycle my cans for years, just because, like, I figured, why throw them away if there's money? Like, I'm going to make money off of it. Never made sense. Like, save up cans for 2 years and get $100. Like, it never equates. And scrap aluminum like that, what they're turning it into and what the amount of money that they get out of it, like, they should be giving you more for it. Which I think aluminum should be a little higher on the price scale anyway. Same with silver. I think silver is a very undervalued, I guess, underestimated metal. Oh yeah, it's a filthy mess of a job. You ain't lying. I know that. Yeah, it's not worth the effort anymore to save, Bob says, and you're right. It's not. It's not worth the mess. It's not worth the amount of space that it takes up to save them versus what you get to turn them in. Like, it doesn't make any sense to do it. So nobody does it anymore. They just end up in the landfill. They just end up in the trash. I mean, $1.20 a 12-pack, like that. Again, that's the prices from when I was a kid. 10 cents a bottle, 10 cents a can. Like, they used to say it on top. Let's see. Maine, Vermont, Massachusetts, New York, Hawaii, Connecticut, and Indiana, 5 cents. California, Michigan, maybe Oklahoma. Oh, it says OK. OK plus CA, and then CRV. I don't know what that is, but it looks like Oklahoma, California, Michigan, Oregon, 10 cents a can. So, and then you got all those other states where they're 5 cents a can. Maine, Vermont, Massachusetts, New York, Hawaii, Indiana, and Connecticut, where they're 5 cents a can. But this is an older can. So maybe they've changed. This is 2017, so this is already 6 years old. It's got a little age to it. Pretty sure I met some rock star guy in the airport at LAX. He looked so familiar. I had a whole conversation with him about the Revolutionary War. I had a shirt on. He's like, "I like that shirt." I'm like, "Oh, cool." And we got on this whole conversation back and forth. And really nice guy. Had great big huge black hair with like a purple streak through it. And glasses about that big around. Man, I wish I knew who. I should have just asked him. Like, should I know you from somewhere? He definitely looked familiar, though. Kind of reminded me of, like, the way Nikki Sixx looks, but, like, his hair wasn't that straight. This guy's hair was, like, big. It was cool, man. It was like, he's definitely somebody. Oh, if I was to guess, somebody big in a band. Super nice guy, too. All right, I got to get off here, clean up my mess, and I guess go back to sleep. I feel a lot better after getting a shower and getting a actually decent meal into me. Like, I feel like I got a full meal down. So I want to go on vacation again. That's stupid, but that's the way I feel. Which I'm sure I won't for, who knows, another year or two. I got to get a house built. Oh, yeah, they did have 2 cent. Yeah. I'll bet I got one of them sitting around here somewhere, too. Let's see. Nothing on that one. Hold on. I got an old RC back here. Commemorative bottle. Let's see. Let's see what it says on it. This is a West Virginia bottle. Carbonated water, sugar. It says ingredients list. It doesn't say on here. Return for deposit. That's all it says. Right here on the middle. It says return. Right here. Return for deposit. But it doesn't say what that deposit is. This bottle's set in a collector. In like a antique shop or something somewhere for many years. It's got a bunch of crud built up on it up here that needs to be cleaned off of it. RC Cola. RC and a Moon Pie. 13th Annual Charleston Stern Wheel Regatta Festival. August 27th through September 5th, 1983. So this bottle is 40 years old. Legitimately 40 years old. Hold on. Bottle, okay. Cola. It doesn't say the 2-cent return on it. Thought it would. But it's got a West Virginia cap on it. There it is. Huh. Cool. Hang on. Maybe one of these old cans up here. I got a flat top up here. Oh, I got this push button. Gabe hooked me up with this too. This ain't got nothing about recycling on it. This is like from the 40s or early 50s. 4.52% alcohol by volume. Scottish and Newcastle breweries. But yeah, that's a weird one. Push button top. Very odd can. Very, very odd can. Extremely rare to find still sealed. It's the only one I've ever seen still sealed, actually. I've got some cool stuff that I really need to get on display and also open and review. Yeah, I used to drink RC when I was a kid. Same as you, Tim. But I was a Pepsi guy. Like, from as early as I can remember. Never was a Coke guy. Now, Coke was not a thing in my family. And where we were on Hawaii, like, almost everything was Coca-Cola on Hawaii. Like, the only way you could get any Pepsi product was to go to, like, Walmart or something. I didn't go to a Target. I went to Walmart. But that was the only way we could get really any Pepsi products. Everything else was Coca-Cola everywhere. Everything. We had the push-button cans. They stopped making them because kids kept shoving their fingers through. Yeah, I mean, yeah, absolutely. You shove your finger in that thing, and it's going to freaking rip it off. Ooh, I mean, I can just imagine. I cut my finger real bad while I was gone. Still giving me issues right now. But that would be a similar type injury that I had on my trip. Shoving your finger in that hole and getting stuck or just trying to yank it out. It cut the crap out of you. I can just imagine. But all right, guys, I'm going to hop off here and clean up my mess. Thank you guys for hanging out tonight. Everybody who stopped in, thumbs up or down. Don't forget that. It's always helpful for the algorithm or whatever. I really don't care. I just do these things for fun. Thanks to my patrons. Appreciate you guys. And yeah, I guess all I got left to do now is say thank y'all for watching. And I'll see y'all on the next live stream. Later.